takes full responsibility. The trolling has begun from Laker Nation. Here's Magic Johnson. I've never seen anything like that before in the NBA. And the Clippers are at home. Worst loss in Clipper history. Magic going in, rubbing salt into the wound of the Clippers. Anthony Jared, again, we're here with you until the tip of Nets Hornets just after 7:10 Eastern. I want to go into what Paul George was saying, guys, about taking full responsibility. And listen, I think all of us understand here, it's just one game, and it is only the third game. But Isaiah, go back to what you were talking about at halftime, about how this team last year never showed a sense of urgency, always saying that things will come together. We will be fine. Once we get that continuity, it'll be fine. Well, that day never came for the Clippers last year, and it seems as if a week into the season, they've got that same lackadaisical approach that, okay, bad today, we'll be good tomorrow.
Yeah, this is a group of individuals that believe in their talent. But as we talked about last week, is that their off-the-court behavior, their tendencies to be ready, to prepare, to do the little things that it takes to be a champion, the training, the extra workouts, the preparation, the mental fortitude, the mental stamina, every single day to be locked in, no days off. This is what we were wanting and waiting to see if the Clippers will come back with. Thus far, what we've seen is that they don't have that off-the-court behavior that you need to become champion. And, I'm just going to go by Paul's words when he said, hey, I enjoyed my Christmas and it caught up with me and I wasn't prepared and our team wasn't prepared. Well, when you're talking about winning a championship, your first championship, not defending, not going after a repeat or back-to-back, but when you're trying to win your first one, every single day, every single moment is a locked-in effort of preparation, getting ready to play and compete. And if you're not doing that and you're not bringing that to the arena, you're not talking about winning a championship. You're talking about being another average NBA team in the NBA. And that's where the Clippers may find themselves if they don't change their off-the-court attitude to match their in-game play.
And I think Isaiah kind of touched upon it. It's not that you get beat. It's not that you get blown out. I remember vividly the year we won 62. We lost in the seventh game in the finals. We lost back-to-back games to two teams that weren't in the playoffs by over 20 points a game. But that's a 20-point loss. We still had a lot of fight. We had scuffles in the game. I didn't even sense the level of frustration with the performance. And that's the thing that kind of struck me as odd. Typically when you're getting it handed to you, you want to react in some kind of way. You want to lash out. You want to make a statement with your effort or your play. And I just didn't see it. I was expecting them to come out in the second half and just play better.
Yeah.
Right? Just compete more. And I think Isaiah, what he's saying is so on point because we're all creatures of habit. And if you get in a habit of accepting the mediocrity and not understanding what it takes to get to that level, it's not about we will get it right. You have to make it right. And you have to care enough. And I just didn't sense that group was there. Now, they are a new group. There's new coach, new system, new philosophy. But the personnel, for the most part, is still similar. And the leadership is definitely similar. And that's where, you want to see, okay, how they're going to respond. But, they're not a team that is creating that aura where teams are going to fear them. And so that's just going to make this journey all the more harder for them. Even though they do have talent, and Isaiah said something that was great. He said, they believe in their talent, which they do, but I don't know that they believe in their team. That's a different dynamic. I think that is their problem. They believe in the talent, and they try to out-talent you as opposed to be the better team. And that's just watching how they play. We were talking during the first quarter, like, look at their shot quality. They don't create shots within their offense for one another. Like, a lot of it is just go get a bucket.
Right.
And it is really hard when you get in the postseason when you don't have that kind of trust and belief in what you are and who you are. I still don't know what their identity is. Like, they're supposed to be a great defensive team, right? They got all these individually talented defenders. That didn't necessarily pan out. Mm-hmm. And so there are more questions there. Yeah, this is one game. It's early in the season. But there's a reason why what we saw tonight we had never seen in the history of the NBA before. Like, you got to put a little bit of weight on that. If they'd lost by 25 tonight, we see that every night in the NBA, right? Like, that's not – to be down 50 at the half, you know how hard – that's really hard to be down 50.
Yeah.
You have to literally not be trying. And that's a psychological thing, I think. And I think they are allowing excuses, like to say, you know, I had a good Christmas. And, like, everybody had a good Christmas. That has nothing to do with today. That Christmas 2 days ago. You know, like you should have more than been able to flip that switch to get yourself ready for a team you might want to see. You want to send messages to teams early, too, because you may see Dallas in that first round or second round potentially.
Yeah. No question. Largest halftime deficit in NBA history, 50 points. Worst loss in Clipper franchise history, 51 points. Second largest victory in Mavericks history. Dallas gets its first win of the season. The Clippers, first loss of the season. They didn't have Kawhi, but this one was brutal, and that lack of fight was certainly missing from the Clippers tonight. We'll talk more about this game. I know Isaiah and GA have a lot more to get off their chest on this one, but we're also getting you set here for the Hornets. Kevin Durant will play. Kyrie Irving will play for the Nets tonight against this guy. One of the top candidates for most improved player. We're down by as many as 57. We now must turn our attention to the Clipper side of things. Let's hear from the head coach of the Clippers, Ty Lue.
I know it's hard to come back from that kind of deficit, but is there something you could pinpoint early in the game that you could attribute the slow start to?
I think a couple of turnovers early. I think got them out in transition, got a couple of easy baskets. And then, we missed some shots, and they got out in transition on us early. And just to have a lot of pop tonight, on both sides of the basketball. So you play on a team like this who, has a point guard like Luka who can dominate the game in different ways, and they have a lot of shooters around them. If they're making shots like they were tonight, and you're not defending, you're not making shots, it's going to be a long night.
Thanks. Move over to Justin.
Hey, Coach. Is this an instance of one of those game tapes that you proverbially burn or just don't really go over? Or is this something where you can kind of go into the nuts and bolts and find little things to fine tune?
No, I think you throw it away. Just get back to what's been working and, how we've been working on. Like I said, tonight our guys didn't have a lot of pop, didn't have a lot of pop on either end of the floor. And you can see it.
We'll go to Andrew Greif.
Hey, Ty, with Paul, he's been responsible for quite a few turnovers early in the season. I guess, what do you want to do what do you want to see from him in terms of tightening up his handle? I know he contributed to some of those early turnovers.
Just being decisive what he wants to do. Not thinking, not guessing, just be aggressive and then making the right play like he's been doing. We just can't have the careless turnovers when, we're kind of like indecisive what we want to do. So we'll clean those up. And, I say it's early. And, he'll understand where people's out on the floor when we give him the space to play. And we'll get better at that.
You guys have obviously made a lot of great progress through the first two victories. Does this feel in any way like a step back, like you're going to have to kind of rebuild from a loss of this caliber? Or do you look at this as like just an exception that you just throw away?
No, just an exception. It doesn't take away from what we've been doing and what we've been working on and how we're trying to get better each night. And like I said, it wasn't a lot of fight, a lot of pop tonight. And, we know we'll have that come next game.
Thanks, Ty.
We got time for one more. We go to Miriam.
Carroll, Gasol, all in the mix.
Miriam?
Yeah, here I am.
There you go.
Sorry about that. Does playing in an empty arena when you fall so far behind, does that hurt more? Just sort of lacking that energy in the building?
It could. No excuse though. I mean, we all have to play the same way and be able to adapt. So I just think we got to a slow start early, and then just kind of snowball from there.
Hey, Paul. Coach, ugly game, as you know. Coach Lou referenced you guys didn't have the pop coming into this game or throughout the game. How do you ensure, as one of the leaders on the team, that you develop this pop for Wednesday night?
I mean, I take full responsibility. It's a tough game coming from Christmas. I enjoyed my Christmas day. I enjoyed my Christmas day yesterday. Today just popped up on me a little too fast. I'll take full ownership of that, of coming out and being prepared to play today. Be a different situation come next game, and, we'll be ready. Make sure our group will be ready.
Thanks.
Canty, you can go ahead.
For you as a veteran player, how do you maintain this team together as one of the leaders? And how do you process this loss, even though it just won a game, so you guys can continue playing as the first two games that you guys started this season?
I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, we got our butts kicked today. But, it's one game. I think we'll just take what we need to take away from today and go to the next one. We wasn't ready today. We wasn't prepared, not from the plan, but just from us being ready to go. And that's on me. And so, we'll be ready for the next game. It's one game. It's not like we lose or we get 3 L's and about 50 points. One game.
We'll move over to Andrew. You can go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, Paul, there are a couple instances in that first quarter that I'm guessing you'd like to have back, a couple passes that get intercepted and they lead to quick points. What do you feel like you have to do when you evaluate yourself to cut down some turnovers this season?
I think just valuing the possession. So all I got to do is just value the possession, and just sometimes having more of a aggressive mentality at all times. It's just what I got to just carry into every game.
Thanks. We'll go over to Miriam.
Well, hey, Paul. Wondering if playing in an arena without fans and having no energy, like the lack of energy, is especially weird when you're down that far. And then also just kind of looked Serge was still kind of trying to work with the kids on the bench. What did you see from that?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a ball game to be played, and it's still our duty to help the younger guys. Try to help them learn something in the situations in the minutes that they were playing. It's all about building. We understood that, we gave a poor performance, but the young guys still have a lot to learn. And it was more so about helping them. And then, I'm sorry, what was the first part of that question?
Just if playing in an arena without any fans and having that lack of energy is especially weird, or I guess the deterrent when you guys are down so big.
I mean, it's gonna always be weird, but I think that's an excuse that we can't use, because we should be used to that by now. We went through a whole half the season last year with no fans, so it's not an excuse that we can use.
Thanks, Paul. We got time for one more. Jonathan, you can go ahead.
Hey, PG, early in the season, losing like this, can you kind of use it as like, a teaching moment for you and just for the guys as well, just knowing that you got to come ready to play every single day?
Absolutely. Like I said, take full responsibility, of not being ready. I will be ready the next one. It's just a tough situation. Like I said, coming off of being on the road on Christmas, I had my Christmas yesterday. I hope everyone enjoyed the Christmas day yesterday.